Okay, so here we go. If you've stuck with all all the 10 tips and you're here now, thank you very much. That's really kind and brilliant. And I do hope that they've been useful or will be useful for you. Please do me a favour. I find it difficult not to say that in a sort of not in an East End London accent. Do me a favour. If you could subscribe underneath, click that button, that would be great. It doesn't mean you have to pay anything at all. It's like a liking on Facebook or a following on Instagram. It'd be really kind and would mean a lot to me. So if you could subscribe, that would be great. And I hope that they've been useful tips. But here we go. Tip number 1. And it takes some doing to surpass the importance of that 6 minutes I gave you in tip number 2. And I hope that that'll be vital for you. But this last one really is just about attempting to enjoy it, to try and find the reading comprehension part of your syllabus, part of your exam, whatever it might be. Try and find it interesting, okay? If you're into it, if you're absorbed by it, if you find it interesting, then you're going to take it in so much better and you're going to do so much better, okay? So it does not matter if the passage is about the pace in which grass grows or the contents of a ping pong ball. It doesn't matter if it is about the most boring thing that you can possibly imagine. You've never read a passage more boring, all right? It doesn't matter. You have to kind of trick your mind, all right, get into the mindset that's very positive and treat it as if it's interesting. You have to. More often than not, I think, certainly exams in Great Britain these days, the passages for reading comprehensions are quite interesting and you shouldn't have to struggle too much. But a lot of you out there don't really like reading. And that's where you can stumble. You can get to the first paragraph, end of the first paragraph, and go, this is dull, I don't really want to read it. Well, you've got to try and convince yourself, especially as for many of you, the reading comprehension is going to be part of a very, very important exam, okay? And so this passage and getting to know it is the difference between success and not so much success in that exam. And so I just can't reiterate how important it is. I can't emphasize how important it is to kind of do your best to enjoy it almost, all right? It might not be your cup of tea, all right? That passage might be something that potentially bores you to tears, but it doesn't matter. It's in between you doing well and not. So you've kind of got to be positive in your outlook as you approach the reading. You've got to be really keen, as I said in tip number 2, to make sure that you've not only read the passage, you've read it and understood all of it, not just parts of it. And so I think if you're relaxed and yet at the same time focused and determined to enjoy it and absorb much of the information that's given in reading comprehension passages is quite interesting and extra information for you as a human being. So that's one way of looking at it. And if you can try and be that positive about it, then I think there's no doubt that you will be able to take in more and therefore do better on the questions. As I've shown, tips 2 to 10 show that it's not just about the passage. There are lots of things to do with technique that are very important, but ultimately, if you can, get to know this passage as best as you can, as quick as you can, then you're going to be in really good shape. And I think that's easily for me the most important thing. Be positive, be upbeat, and be interested in whatever it is. If it's a bit of travel writing, if it's a bit of information, if it's a story, whatever it is, whatever that passage is, or whatever that extract is, try and treat it as being interesting. Believe it is interesting. Believe it's going to definitely be of value to you. And I think if you can do that, you're going to be in much better shape to hit those questions. Okay, so all the best with all your reading comprehensions. The last video I've got a little very difficult, especially with parents and guardians if you're homeschooling, to give you I haven't got a website yet. I might be trying to get that together where I can put some resources on there. But difficult to do a reading comprehension over the screen like this. So I do have a bit of an exercise which would be quite good to help any child looking to get better at their reading comprehension. But I do hope that those top 10 tips have really helped out and will do in the future, because it's based on many years of setting them, marking them, etc. So all the best with those, and thank you so much for joining me. As I say, please subscribe below, and I hope you'll look at plenty of the other Learning for Legends videos. All right, take care. Bye bye.